I was listening to the music today, actually, and this is not very often that that I don't have an idea of how to categorize a band. I was, usually you hear influences or something like this, and I'm trying to think of what influences you might have, and I wasn't able to pick them up for myself. So I was wondering what type of music or what type of, how would you describe your music, and how would you categorize it, and what type of influences did you have?
Yeah, we pretty much listen to anything across the board. I guess started out I guess very heavily influenced by the Misfits, by The Cure, by pretty much all old school goth, Specimen, Joy Division, Virgin Prunes, as well as all the new wave stuff. Pretty much everything across the board. Anything we listen to has some say in what we write. Andy's very into today into Electroclash and some indie stuff, and I'm still very into post-punk and early industrial. I love Neubauten, Skinny Puppy,
Yeah, you like all the stuff that I like. We probably grew up in the same time.
Yeah, you name it and it's across the board. And,
well, what's interesting about your music is that you still can't categorize it. It's not. I don't hear The Cure or Skinny Puppy when I listen to you guys. I hear everything in between, or maybe it's something that you came up with yourself, and that's what I figured that you're a multi-influence band.
Yeah, definitely. All the way across the board,
Mm-hmm. Where do you guys come from? In Virginia?
Yeah. Both of us are from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much raised here.
And what kind of scene is there in Virginia then?
When we formed, there really wasn't much of one, but we started a club here and built it up. It was pretty strong. We'd get a couple hundred head. Well, at its peak, we were getting about 150 a night.
Mm-hmm.
And it was and from there, it just sort of grew and grew and grew. Richmond had a pretty strong scene, which is about an hour away from us. We used to go up there all the time, and then Washington D.C.
Okay.
We used to go hang out in a bit.
I was wondering about you have an album out before this one, and you had an EP before.
Yes.
How long has the band actually been together then?
Andy and I have been in the band since '96. We formed the band, and originally started out just the two of us. We've gone through a couple of different guitarists. Chris Hensley recorded the second album with us, Where Shadows Lie. And then Ben recorded half of The Quiet with us.
Mm-hmm.
And halfway through the recording, he had a baby and ultimately had to leave the band.
And you guys are self-producing most of your stuff, or pre-producing?
The first, we actually have two full lengths before The Quiet.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was pretty much just demo run 1,000 discs pressed, and we did that all ourselves. Or we actually recorded at a studio in Richmond. And then, are you familiar with the band Fidal?
Fidal? No, I'm not.
Yeah, they're a band that were on Test Records.
Mm-hmm.
A few years back. We recorded our second disc, Where Shadows Lie, with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third CD, I guess we actually had some production help from a studio here in Charlottesville that just recently opened called Crystal Phonic.
Okay.
And they're just awesome, amazing.
What type of topics are you trying to bring to your audience in your texts and in your music itself?
It's we're very much a storytelling band. We try and avoid politics, try and avoid anything that links us specifically to this present day. We want something that you can look at in 10 years and still have it mean something, or 50 years and still have it mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know if we succeed at this. We do have a very 80s sound, or so everybody's telling us, but specifically in the lyrics and the words, we want to tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
Very horror influenced ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
Some sci-fi influence there, science fiction. We just write what comes out pretty much.
Are you guys gonna come to Germany this year to play festivals or anything?
We
Or?
really hope to. We really hope to. We talked about it last year, but everything fell through, and now this year, I mean, things seem to be going well. I mean, we signed Metropolis, and so far they've just been awesome. So maybe with them on our side, we'll make it over there this go.
Yeah. Do you like playing clubs, or do you prefer to play more big venues? Or have you gotten to play some of the bigger festivals? I don't know what's happening in the States here. You have a chance maybe to play in front of 20,000 people or something like this.
Yeah, no, we haven't done that yet. There isn't anything over here in our genre that really caters to crowds that size. We played a convention where there were 50,000 attending, but there were only 2,000 at the show. So I mean, I'd say that's pretty much the biggest we've done so far. Which for the States, I'm pretty pleased with.
Yeah, sure.
Generally we've been playing smaller clubs. 500 head. Well, I mean, we play as low as 10 people.
Yeah, sure.
You get those dates where you're just like, oh. Just hang your head. But it's growing. Definitely growing, and there's definitely a lot more interest these days. Crowds, as you said earlier, are getting bigger and bigger, and our exposure is getting bigger and bigger.
No, it's good. It's hopefully this is what I'm hoping that it will grow on the other side of the ocean as well, because usually when the American bands are here, they're pretty well knocked out by the fact that so many people meet, and also bands from Australia. They bring in bands from Japan for this Wave Golf Treffen. I don't know if you've heard of this, and. Yeah, they're all pretty much, they're really happy to be over here. So we look forward to seeing you, that's for sure. Tell me, Bella Morte, the name. Somebody speaks Italian in the band, or?
No, I studied Latin, and consequently it was a direct derivative of that for me. Italian is one of the only languages in which death is feminine. And that had some influence on why we chose the name, or why I chose the name. It also, just seemed to fit. It was something that was pretty obvious. Beautiful death. You can't get much more than that.
Sure.
But at the same time, there was enough subtlety in it, and enough, different ways to read the name that it just sort of stuck. It sounded good, and we liked it. So.
Great. And if there's anything that you'd like to say to the people that are listening to the interview, feel free to now.
Just visit our website, www.bellamorte.com. Drop us an email anytime you want. If you're curious or just want to yell at us,
Great.
By all means, get in touch.
Yeah, good.